Hi all. Something I wanted to mention when you start punching a bag. There's some gloves that you should have. Any type of gloves is fine to get started, but just don't punch the bag with your bare hand too much. I usually do like one round with my bare hands just to toughen up the skin. What do I mean by a round? Get an egg timer, a 3-minute egg timer. Boxing rounds are 3 minutes, so when you practice, do it by 3-minute intervals. That's something that my father always did. This was actually his egg timer that he used for years, and he even used this one when he was riding a bike. He used this when he was shadow boxing. He always stressed shadow boxing was very important. So you don't need any of this stuff. You don't need the bags. Just timer and shadow box, standing right where you are. Okay, that's a good way to get started. So why would he recommend that? He was big on shadow boxing. He always say shadow box, because it's muscle memory. Your muscles are getting used to throwing a punch. Muscle memory. You're practicing throwing a punch, just like a guitar player would practice scales. A football player would practice throwing a football, or baseball player, basketball player. They practice, certain moves. Same thing here. You practice shadow boxing. If you're always hitting a bag, that's hard on your body, hard on your arms. Just waving your arms in the air, that's hard on your elbows and things like that. So don't do it too much where you're jerking your elbows around. People who are into karate, they're always kind of throwing punches into air, just blank air. They have problems with their elbows because they aren't actually landing a punch. So do it, but don't get crazy about it. Okay, so start with one round a day. For a couple weeks, then move up to 2 rounds a day, then 3 rounds a day, and mark it on the calendar every day. Mark it on your calendar. What my father used to always do, he'd mark it on the calendar like this: 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, 4 round, 5. And he had that on his calendar every day. That's how he kept track of how much he practiced with this. Okay? You can go online, print out free calendars. Just draw it on a piece of paper. You don't have to have a calendar you buy at a store. Just draw it out, squares. Okay? So my main point here is get some type of egg timer. The digital stuff is cool, but you spend more time playing with the buttons. This thing, you just go like that, and you spend more time practicing instead of playing with the buttons on your digital timer. Okay, so as far as gloves, I didn't buy these all at one time. These here are my favorite for boxing. They go on real easy. They come off real easy, so I don't have to spend a lot of time. There's a steel bar here. There's not a lot of padding here, so you don't get a lot of protection. But if you hit the bag a lot with just your bare skin, that's kind of hard on your skin. So I like these. These are my favorite. Okay. So these are Everlast 4308. Okay. These, I don't know where I picked these up. I think they came with something I bought. But I just recently started using these, and these are actually pretty cool. They're kind of a pain to get on, but what's nice about these is this is Velcro, and you can tighten this up around your wrist. Okay, so when you're hitting the bag, you got some wrapped. So when you're hitting the bag, your wrists are wrapped. You know? Okay, and there's a lot of padding here too, so you can hit the bag a lot harder. There's a good ½ inch of padding there or more. Okay, those are nice. So those are Everlast, Ever Fresh. You know, we all have our personal preference. What do you like? And then something that I do, it's kind of crazy, but I use these. These are, I think they're 3-pound weights. These go on like this, and I shadow box with these, and I hit the bag with these. Not a lot, you know, 1 or 2 rounds, you know, just to get the muscles going, you know. And then something else. It's like, these are just my gloves I use for lifting. These are really nice for hitting the bag. These are, I don't know how to pronounce that, Vallejo. So these are nice because you can throw them in the washer and dryer. And these have wraps that go around your wrist. So those are good for boxing. And then so he's got wraps that go around the wrist, and then you can tighten that up too. Not a lot of protection here, but just for a couple rounds, you know. Okay, it's good, you know. I'd say if you have some weights at home, bench press and a few barbells and things like that, then if you were just going to get one glove, I'd go with these. You know, these are nice. They go on fast, they come off fast. You know, you don't have to spend a ½ hour wrapping your wrist. You know, something that boxers do is they wrap their wrist. I think these came with wraps. They're long cloth wraps that you wrap your wrists with. Just white cloth. They're like 6 foot long, maybe 2-inch wide, and you wrap your wrist, you know, to help protect your wrist. Pros always wrap their wrists, from what I know, but you know, from my point of view, if you do that too much, your wrist might not strengthen up. So use the wraps the way the pros recommend, but also practice a little bit without the wraps, you know, so the muscles in your wrist strengthen up. Where I get that from is years ago I hurt my knee jogging. You know, I stepped in a muddy spot, and my ankle tried to adjust for the muddy spot, and that twisted my knee. And I wore knee wraps for years, and it took a good 3 years or more to really clear up. But I read online, if you use the knee wraps too much, the muscles in your knees don't strengthen up. So if you apply that same thing to your wrist wraps, you know. So, and then jump rope. Jump rope is always popular with boxers. Sounds kind of sissy. You know, you might be thinking, oh, that's what girls do, but boxers do a lot. It gets you up off your feet. You know, you have to, when you box and you hit the bag, you basically got to dance. You dance, you know. That's what my father always said. I remember when I was a kid, he's teaching me to box. He'd always say, dance, 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 you know, as you're moving around the bag. You know, you're dancing around your feet, you know. you're dancing on your feet, moving around. You know, he had one story that he always told when he went all the way to Chicago for a fight on Route 20. This was back before they had freeways. You know, Route 90 wasn't built yet. So they went from my town to Chicago. That's about an 8-hour trip on Route 90 freeway. And they went on Route 20. Okay? And then he had a fight, and he said the guy was real tall. And he said he was scared to get in the ring with him because my father was only 5'8", and I think 5'8", 135 pounds. And my father said he was scared to get in the ring with him. And the other guy was 6 foot, you know. And he got in the ring. My father started boxing, dancing around a lot, knocked him out, you know, pretty quick from what I remember him saying. And he said he talked to the guy later. He said, "What happened?" And the guy said, "I wear glasses and you were moving around so fast I couldn't see you." Okay? So these things are good too to help strengthen up your wrist. Okay? So, you know, main thing here, you know, is some type of timer would be nice. And just even winter gloves to get started, you know. Don't go wailing on the bag, you know, you don't want to hurt your hand, you don't want to hurt your wrist. You know, it'll take a while for your hands to get used to punching and your wrist to strengthen up. I remember reading an article about one pro boxer years ago. Said they used to hit a brick wall. That's how they strengthened up their hands. Now, don't go hitting a brick wall. You know, that's not good. You know, that's pretty extreme. But he was heavyweight champ, so I guess it worked. But I kind of take that one with a grain of salt. You know, I've tried it, and it's not easy hitting a brick wall. You know, maybe if you had these on, it wouldn't be so bad. You know, or regular, you know, the big boxing gloves that they wear in the ring. That wouldn't be so bad. But just to hit him with your bare hand, it seems like the article I read, the information I remember is he did it with his bare hands. So, sounds kind of extreme. But maybe put some foam on the wall and then punch the foam, you know, or use a thick glove, you know, then it wouldn't be so bad. But I guess, you know, the karate guys, they use those 2x4s. They make up that stand. I forget what it's called, where they're actually punching the piece of wood and kicking the piece of wood. You know, that's how they strengthen up their punches. They go out and punch a tree and kick a tree. Okay, so there's just a few quick tips. You know, timer, pair of gloves. Okay, see ya.